Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning. Coming up, we'll hear from our great friend Maria Espinoza, and she's got a lot to say. Maria, please hang on the line for a minute. We're going to get to you in 2 seconds. Back to Eric and Kuna. Eric, you've got the floor.
Awesome. Hey, Paulette Jordan. Now, I don't really know anything about her. I've heard of things. Fairly young, a Democrat. Now, a lot of people are, what's his name, last guy on radio name, Cecil Andrews, I don't like crap talk. He was a real nice guy, man. Like several times I like
Hey, Eric, your phone's going bad.
Hey, can you hear me? Sorry about that. Hey, Cecil Andrews, good guy, okay? Paulette Jordan should take a good look at Cecil Andrews, and before she starts talking about guns and stuff like that, I think she really needs to look at like the true, what a real Democrat is. Because, back in the day, Kevin, you know this, Democrats and Republicans both believed in the Constitution.
Right.
And they kind of balance each other out in the bills and stuff like that. Is what it was how it was supposed to work out. But now the Democrat Party has turned, I don't know exactly, something. Let's call them satanic.
Wow.
But anyway, so Paulette Jordan, now I don't know her, but she's probably a real nice lady, and she's probably really smart. So if she were pretty smart, she should probably change her from her. Can you do that in your run? Can you go from Democrat to Independent? Can you change her?
No, you can't. You can't really change your party affiliation, Eric.
You got to pick one or the other, or you're not in the spotlight, right?
Right.
You're right. Okay. Well, Paulette Jordan ought to look at Cecil Andrews as one of Idaho's longest Democrat governors. He's a real nice guy too, and I ran across him just recently, not too long before he died. Here about 4 years ago, I ran across him, knocked on his door. I was doing marketing, and that guy is a real good guy, great guy, man. And God bless his soul. He was a good man, and I thought he was a great governor. Back then, I didn't really even think about politics. I didn't think about Democrat, Republican. I just wanted to judge him by the character and stuff
Sure.
like that. That's what politics is supposed to be. This lining up with Democrat and Republican and stacking up a big list of cans and can nots and everything else makes people forget that they're American. It's like time for these little bright. You know what, Trump? I'm surprised you can call Omarosa a little more than a dog. I mean, a bratty dog. Yeah, a dog, like a backstabbing dog is what he probably meant. They're going to spin that into oblivion all week. So anyway, Omarosa, you're fired. Shut up. You're lucky Trump even gave you anything because you wouldn't have nothing without the man. So shut your mouth.
All right, Eric. Got to run.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. I don't know how our friend Maria Espinoza is going to top that one, but she's the national director of the Remembrance Project, which honors and remembers Americans and legal residents who have been killed by illegal aliens. She is of Mexican descent. We remember the last time we had her on, very heartfelt, very welcoming, and has a lot of information that you won't hear anywhere else. Maria, thank you for joining us once again.
Hi, thanks so much, Kevin. I think it's pretty easy to top the Omarosa book in lies, because, what we deal with is reality, not just pettiness, and maybe a little hurt ego or something. But, we're dealing with lives here, American lives that are very real. They're killing. There's many times the vicious macheting, stabbing, killing of their loved ones was 100% preventable. And I think that's where the American public needs to be focusing on, not all this pettiness where they're trying to tarnish our president and obstruct his great work. So I think there's just hands down, there's no comparison.
Maria, let's talk about some of the atrocities committed by people that have been in this country illegally, that have been put in prison, have been released, have been sent back, and have come back, because that's a major issue that does not get reported. Now, when people say, look, if you want to come to America and be Americans, then you're a bad person or a racist. However, the press seems to be complicit in the cover-up of these crimes committed by people that are here illegally.
Exactly, and I place the blame on Congress, Kevin, because that's where it needs to lay on those shoulders of those politicians who were elected to serve for the people and protect our country, protect our children, our communities, so that we can run successful businesses and not have to worry about the chaos and mayhem within our communities. They're not doing their jobs. They're creating laws with huge loopholes, and whenever the people, call them out on the carpet on this, they run back to the law. But then we have come to realize, because of President Trump's America First agenda, which every country and every leader in each country is supposed to legislate and do what's best for their country and their people. And yet this president is being obstructed. And what we're talking about with the Remembrance Project, again, is a loss of lives. The most egregious of all that takes place when enforcing existing laws is not taking place here. So again, I don't know how simple it is. The fake news out there, all the Democrats, seems like, and many of the Republicans simply ignore that this is taking place. And how many more lives, Kevin, I ask all your listeners, and to go to their legislators and ask how many more lives must be stolen from American families before they do their jobs.
Maria, let's talk about the difference, though. You have, because people want to lump everybody into this pot, and people that come to the country, they want to work hard, they want to become Americans, they want to contribute, are very different from the people that we're talking about. And the press likes to throw everybody in this cauldron, if you will, but there are many people that come from all over the place, and we can say from Central and South America, that come in, work hard, succeed, and really live the American dream.
Absolutely, and I'm an example because my father was born in Mexico. He came here the right way. We have a big front door, Kevin, and that's the baseline, that we do have laws. We don't have to allow anyone into our country, but if you want to come into the country, ask for permission, and then you agree to obey our laws. My father was a farmhand. He worked at the lumber mill later. I was born in Texas, moved up to Washington State, where I graduated high school. We worked in the strawberry fields and the pea vine, my brothers, and blueberries. We didn't work with the students who went out during the summers. My mom went out into the fields with us because my father had a distant cousin who was a foreman with a berry farmer. So we were there picking next to the migrant workers. And, I tell a story. If we misbehaved, Mom had a little saying that she fulfilled. If we misbehaved, we were the first ones in the fields in the morning. That meant getting up about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and the last ones to leave. So our work ethic was very strong at an early age, but later on, through his hard work, Father owned 3 Mexican food restaurants. That's the American dream, Kevin. And I'm not saying that every single person who comes here the right way will attain that. However, if you are driven and you have the smarts to go ahead and realize that this is the place where your dreams can come true if you work hard and follow the law, and that is, and you respect the country. He became an American. We didn't see the Mexican flag anywhere in our home. And this is what they stood by. They were strict parents, and here I am. I'm a product of that American dream. I went to college on a track scholarship and I'm All-American miler, and here I find myself working hard thanks to my husband and our good Lord. We never thought we'd be in this situation, Kevin. This is not what I had planned for our older years as empty nesters, but, our country needs this, and I feel like if I can't run a small business in a country that is no longer the greatest country in the world. So this is why we're here with the Remembrance Project, and we started in 2009 over the sanctuary city policies that I thought were so egregious.
Well, Maria, let's get specific here, and the idea of loved ones being lost because of people that are here illegally. I will tell you, I having lived in North Carolina and Alabama and Tennessee, is much more prevalent than in Idaho. But again, it's underreported. You have people that are, grandmothers being killed and raped and such, and then you have, what's going on in Phoenix, where people are getting their heads chopped off and such.
Mm-hmm. Right, and we saw these signs years back when we first started. We saw kidnappings on the rise that we'd never seen here. Remember, Phoenix was the kidnapping capital of the United States, and now it's spread all over the country. There is a statistic came out recently where there were reported 15,000 kidnappings, and those that were reported or caught. So, and we're thinking maybe 30 to 35% are only apprehended of these acts. But, there are so many things that are taking place right here on our own soil that people ignore, and I blame the media for not getting the information out there. In fact, as soon as we created the Remembrance Project, Kevin, we realized surely we could not be the only ones who saw this, and this wasn't the first happenings of these, we call it epidemic of killings of Americans. Through our research, we discovered that it wasn't just Houston, Texas, where these dangerous sanctuary cities were allowing illegal aliens to kill and not be caught or re-released and underreported. We expanded our research to all over the United States and found, again, there was an epidemic of killings. So we created the Stolen Lives Quilt banners, which in a way is a visual memorial, Kevin, to the innocent Americans whose lives were snuffed out way too early. It was a way to connect the dots for the public and do the job that the media wasn't doing. So if there is a killing in Boise, and maybe people up in, Rapid Falls or
Twin Falls,
Lewiston, New
Sure.
Falls, wouldn't hear about it. But this Stolen Lives Quilt was a way that we could get out there to the public what the media was hiding. As you can see, it's been so detrimental to the fabric of our country and the safety of our children. It seems like American children don't matter. Here the talk is about the unaccompanied minors that were placed in harm's way by their own parents. And now the American government, this has started way back in the previous administrations, Bush, Obama, and, thank God that President Trump is trying to do something about it. But again, we have to place blame where it originates and with the parents. But we have this problem all over the United States. If people pay attention, they'll have to do their own research for the most part, because the mainstream media and the local newspapers will not report it, or they report falsely. Maybe they're talking about a Boise man who is really an illegal alien from Honduras that commits these crimes. So, I urge your listeners to do their own research.
Maria, if people want to help the Remembrance Project, what can they do?
You can go to our website, Kevin, at theremembranceproject.org. That's theremembranceproject.org. And I'll tell you, contrary to what rumors are out there, because we have so many different, groups trying to stop us, I have volunteered my time 100%, and everything that we have, any small donations, no matter what size, we put to great use. We're here looking over the shoulders of these legislators, and this is an American problem, Kevin. It's not Democrat or Republican. I'm a former Democrat. My party left me years ago, and now I feel like I don't have a party, but I'm doing all I can for this country. This is the best country in the world. We have nowhere else to go. And, I want it to be a country that I grew up in, that I recall, where people actually mattered here.
Maria, thank you, and thank you for your service.
And thank you so much, Kevin. We need you out there to help give us a platform to reach the masses. So God bless you.
God bless you. We'd love to have you back. And I'd say stay out of trouble, but that comes with the gig.
You're absolutely correct, but we're ready for it.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Phone number is 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. Coming up next, we continue our conversation about the governor's race. And one lady is a little concerned about Paulette Jordan. We'll talk about that next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And before we get to the reunion of Greece, well, no, we're not going to get to the reunion of Greece. This is from Maria. I cringe when you say Paulette won't win, Kevin Miller. It was a total shocker that she won the primary. She could have some big lib money behind her, and the younger generation is probably concerned that abortion may disappear. They will do all they can to make sure that never happens. Respectfully, Maria. Look, Maria, I'm with you, but the numbers don't lie. The astute political machine that Mr. Little has assembled, and you have Republicans. It's kind of like football, high school football, college football, pro football. You scrimmage a lot. And the primary was a big scrimmage, and Republicans beat each other up. Now they get to turn their sights to the opponent, right? 580-5436, 580-KIO. That's why I don't think that's going to happen. They will not let it happen. Let's go to Dimitri in Meridian with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dimitri.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you for taking my call. How are you today?
Living the dream, sir. And you?
I'm just on the way to work. So I just want to shine a light on this issue. For example, we've talked a lot about firearms and Second Amendment. However, nobody's talking about that people that are not U.S. citizens can buy firearms. For example, if they have a green card, or even if they're any other way legal in the United States, if they have a driver's license, and they've never been, anywhere on the FBI list or any other list. In many states, they actually can go in and buy a firearm. It's just something, Joe, I was thinking it's very curious that's allowed here in America. What do you think about that?
I didn't know. I thought you had to have a driver's license and pass a background check to get a firearm.
So what do you think about that? I mean, non-U.S. citizens, and right now specifically, when California illegal aliens can get driver's license, they can come to Idaho, even just flip their driver's license to Idaho driver's license, and now a person who is a foreign national can actually buy firearms, and ammunition. Just kind of struck me curious. Just wanted to see what you think about that, and if it's something that people should talk about. I
would agree with you, Dimitri. Thank you for bringing that up. Obviously, we go back to all the security concerns, people that, are American citizens that live in America, love America. They're the people that are tracked by the NSA and the CIA, and yet people come in, they break the law. They don't have the same regulations or security, which is totally absurd, a total lack of priority when it comes to what the federal government, state government should be doing.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm an American citizen. So when I came here right away, I thought I would be becoming American. But right now, those that come right now with completely washing away what American identity really is, I think I understand why we have this fractured society. Because if you don't have a unifying culture, a unifying base, people can't even think about that. I have a fellow immigrant that recently moved here, and he thought the same thing. So, okay, I'm coming to America, I'm going to learn English, I'm going to learn the culture. But once he came here, he saw this fractured society. He said, why? I don't know where to go, so I'm going to just keep my culture and my language. And so, I was surprised to find out that English is not a language of the United States. Did you know that? It's not an official language.
Right. Unfortunately, it isn't. And by the way, I believe in Idaho, you can take your driver's test in up to 26 different languages.
I think it's ridiculous because there's no country that can survive like that. There's no way. I mean, if you take it all the way to the logical conclusion, there will be a real fracturing. I was born in the former USSR. And as you know, in the 1990s, it's completely fractured. And so I've experienced that. I was a teenager at that time. And it just fractured on ethnic lines mostly. So they were talking the same thing about ideals, and we are one country and one people. But guess what? When they stopped really focusing on the unity, and everyone just ran to their own little corner. And my concern, of course, I have children right now here, I have life. And that really frustrates me that America there's centrifugal forces, especially from the left. I grew up under socialism. Everything that Bernie Sanders wants, we had, and it really sucked. And so
well, what do you say to the
Dimitri?
What do you say to the young people and other misinformed folks that say that socialism is good, and the majority of the Democrats, they're down with the socialism? You lived it.
Yeah, the thing is, we need to understand the ideology. The core of the ideology of socialism is greed, and so once you see it that way, everything actually makes sense. Like, socialists are the greediest people I've ever met in my life. They always want something for free, and extract everything for free. They've never seen something they didn't want, and they want you to pay for it. And so what it creates, I don't know about other socialist countries, though Venezuela proves the same thing. Once everything is nobody's, that means everyone then starts pulling to themselves. There is no real sense of community. I still remember my grandma and we went to a collectivized farm in the middle of the night to steal some food for our pigs, our personal pigs. And so I think I was like 6 or 7. So I asked Grandma, I said, Grandma, isn't it stealing? She's like, no, everything belongs to the people. We are the people. I said, okay, Grandma, why are we doing it at night? She said, shut up and take the food for pigs so we can take it. So what it creates a culture of theft because, again, the core of socialism is greed. But once you put it in the flowery forms of sharing, then of course it's palatable and people can swallow. But once they will get their own thing, everyone will experience that. Again, Venezuela recently, and so socialism. I understand why young people are greedy because, as you know, most of the millennials and right now Generation X, they went through 2008 crisis. They've seen how their parents lost their homes, lost their jobs, lost their cars. Some of them lost their lives. And so they're saying, what, screw that thing with America. I'm going to get what I can get. But, of course, they don't want to say it like that, so they have to wrap it in the idea of sharing. That's how I see it.
Well, Dimitri, God bless you, and thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio. Please call in more often.
Kevin, really appreciate that. Hopefully I can meet you someday. I know you have those meetings that are always busy, but hopefully I can meet someday and shake your hand. You're a great American. Really appreciate you bringing up the issues that people don't want to talk about.
Well, I'd love to talk to you more about your time in the old Soviet Union. I'm always fascinated by Russia, and certainly in the news. But what a marvelous country that is. Still a great mystery to us.
Russia went through so many horrendous things, and unfortunately, again, greed is what destroyed Russia before, and unfortunately, greed is right now that keeps Russia down, and that breaks my heart that America is starting going the way of greed instead of going the way of generosity, how it went for 200 years. So I'm really hoping that we can save the soul of America, and we're not going to give it to the leftists that just want to destroy it and put our kids in bondage.
Dimitri, thank you. Take care, brother. God bless.
Thank you, Kevin. God bless. Bye-bye.
Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dave. Coming up, conservative Steve, Max, Garden City, and Cindy and Caldwell. Before that, we go to Evan Brown. Remember, Fox News Radio, your home for Fox News Radio, right here in the Treasure Valley on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Evan, apparently the NRA wants an apology for an inaccurate political ad.
Good morning. They do. The NRA has asked someone that they've actually endorsed for the role of Florida Agriculture Commissioner to apologize for a statement made in an ad that another candidate had a D rating by the NRA, when in fact she actually had a B rating, like boy. And the NRA has asked that Matt Caldwell apologize about mislabeling the grade that Denise Grimsley has. Both are Republicans running in the primary for Agriculture Commissioner in Florida. But the NRA takes their rating systems very seriously. It's something that they put a lot of work and research into, and they consider it to be a real public service tool for voters when judging candidates based on Second Amendment issues. So when someone either uses it to say that someone else is not getting the high enough grade from the NRA, when in fact they might be, the NRA gets a little upset about that. They have not rescinded their endorsement of Mr. Caldwell, and I don't think that they will, but they're still asking for the apology. So far, Caldwell has removed the ad, says he'll put up a new ad, but has yet to apologize.
Well, and as you say, in these primaries, specifically in a Republican primary, the NRA can make or break you.
Well, it can. The list, however, is not just about Republicans, and not only do Republicans get high grades on them, Democrats will be graded accordingly as well. There are Democrats that do get high marks from the NRA based on their voting record. There are also Republicans that don't get graded very well based on their voting record. But the NRA considers it to be a nonpartisan and unbiased tool for voters. So they take it very seriously when someone abuses it. There's another candidate elsewhere here in Florida. I think she's running for the state Senate or the state House of Representatives, and she claimed to have a higher grade than what she actually had. And the NRA got on top of her too. So it's something the NRA takes seriously.
Don't mess with the NRA, Evan.
Well, don't mess with don't misuse their tools, I guess, is really what they're saying.
Thank you, sir.
You got it.
All right, Evan Brown joining us. Let's get to conservative Steve with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
How's it going, Kevin?
Welcome back, brother.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I just wanted to add to Dimitri. Sounds like a really cool guy, very knowledgeable, and been there, done that. That holds a lot of weight. I was going to share something along the same lines. My buddy, his grandfather actually wrote a book years and years ago. They escaped the Bolshevik Revolution, that's when communism basically killed everybody. They killed the Tsar, his family. They killed everybody. And at that time, my buddy said that his grandfather was a little kid, and they remember that they were threatened with their lives. Everything that you grew as a farmer, you gave it to the government, man. And soldiers, people would come in and take everything you had. And he remembers that him and his two brothers, they buried food, man. They buried grain in the chicken house, and the parents didn't even know it because they were starving. And they went out and got some food, and the dad was mad at him because you'd be killed for that kind of stuff. See, these youngsters here, they don't believe this kind of stuff can happen. And this is where they think everything's a white picket fence around here. Everybody's doing good. And you go to the big tailgate party all the time. That's what the millennials, all they can think of. They're not into reality, man, of what has really happened. And just like these kids that wear the Chick Rivera shirts here on the campuses at the university, they think the Castro guys and Rivera were great guys. Well, look what Castro did to Chick Rivera when the revolution killed everybody and communism moved in. He killed him and all the guys that got him to where he was to be, Castro. He eliminated the problem and put phony charges against Rivera, which was his muscle man. If you look at the history of these socialist and communist takeovers, these aren't hero people. See, Che Rivera is these kids on the universities wear all the T-shirts about how awesome revolutionaries they were. They got killed at the end of the day by the very people that they were revolutioning for. So it's interesting. So I hope, Manafort, I hope the court lets him go like they did the Bundys, man. I hope the court recognizes what the government's doing. It's not about Manafort, it's about Trump. So I hope they see the light today. So thanks a lot, Kevin. You have a great job. Keep doing a good job, man.
Thank you, Conservative Steve. Take care.
Okay. So,
bye-bye. Max, Garden City, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to give a shout out to Dimitri, a perfect example of what makes America great. I've met so many people who come to our country and they don't want to assimilate. They don't want to become Americans. They want to bring a piece of their country with them and immerse themselves in like a ghetto neighborhood that is totally centered on, be it Pakistan, be it Somalia. If they like it so much in Somalia, why don't they go back? Dimitri has it right on my wife is very similar to Dimitri. My wife grew up during the Cultural Revolution. My mother-in-law put up with everything from even before Chairman Mao. And the stories they have to tell, I wish every millennial could hear. Because we live in a great country. We live in a free country. It has its problems. It's not perfect. Some parts are downright sick. But we are still standing the strongest and the freest land on the planet and in the history of this world.
It does go back to the idea of people wearing all these Che Rivera shirts and such. It makes you wonder, this guy was, I don't get it. And you see it on television and everything else.
I see this hammer and sickle. I see Che Guevara. I just want to yank a T-shirt off, slam him into a wall, and say, "Wake up!" My wife, we keep our house. There's a little Chinese around. There are decorations. She holds on to her culture, but there's not a single picture of Chairman Mao. There's not a single hammer and sickle, because she wants to be an American. And an American is a part of a melting pot, all different colors and persuasions. Not a little ghetto over here for Chinese, a little ghetto over here for Pakistani. America's America. Nothing like this has ever existed. Canada tried and failed, but our country is still making it happen. With President Trump, I trust and believe will continue to do so for decades to come.
All right. We appreciate you, Max. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, mate.
Bye-bye. All right. We go to Cindy Caldwell, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Cindy.
Well, good morning, Kevin. I appreciate you this morning. From Maria, and I give a shout-out to Vit. That means hello to Dimitri. Thank you, Kevin, for being the finest. And I really mean this. And I listen to every radio on 580 talk show host, because you allow these people, it's amazing to me when you could overtalk them, when you could not let them speak. Dimitri was speaking, something today that has always been, and I've been on many committees, about a common language. And there are authors, border language culture, and there's something in Dimitri that I could hear him speak of his love for America. And I'm not saying to deny I'm part Scottish. You want to go wear a kilt or you want to do whatever, but there are many babushka grandmas, and that's what they're called in Russia, that belong to the Russian Orthodox Church that, certainly we're praying, also for that wall to come down. So I thank you for having, and Maria, who spoke so eloquently of wanting to assimilate into this country, and how tragically the Democrat Party is ideology matter. Personally, I had to overcome in the last few months a lot of unforgiveness about a tactic that was used that was so, to me, hateful and despicable, with a person that is now running for our governor, not to personalize him in it, but for the greater good. I thank Dinesh D'Souza, who instructed me. I would have written in another candidate had it not been for that movie, because my heart was broken. And broken for people like China Gun, people that gave their 100%. But what matters is this country, and what matters is conservatism, the things that Maria and the things that Dimitri see that they are trying to push back against. So I am sorry that there are ideologues out there like your friend this morning. What are we going to have, a flying purple people eater running next so we can have an Indian? I mean, it's your ideology that matters, coming from what you believe is your value system. Well, to me, life matters. So you can't be on a party that's murdering children. And I'm going to give you Old Testament, according to Exodus 22 or 21. You either are in the death party, marriage, one man, one woman. There are moral laws out there. And that party, the Democrat Party, is the party of the plantation, whereas keeping Indians on the plantation subdued by thinking that giving a free this, free that. I'm going back to, a state where, there are, many areas where there are still reservations out there, and they're not doing well. They're not helping the people assimilate like Maria and having a good work ethic, or Dimitri. So I just say thank you, Kevin, for your ability to let these people talk. I don't think, the whole deal with, I'm sad that you can run on being and because you have some, I don't know, you came and here and you're an Indian, well then go on a reservation and help those people instead of purporting everything that's against the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, and the things that I'm going to give a shout out to the Catholics who came out here. You have hospitals here. This wasn't a la Noble Savage, all of them. I mean, right now in Nooksack, the Catholics were great out there starting all the hospitals. Why do you think you have St. Luke, St. Alphonsus? They were bringing good things and an ideology of love and hope through Jesus Christ and salvation. So I just say you're going to have to examine every single person, even on this election, what your core values are about America, like Demetria has, and Maria, and where you stand both morally and how you see this nation. So bless God for you, Kevin Miller. And thank you for having, obviously, the kind of show that people like Demetria and Maria can come on, breathing life into this nation.
Right. Cindy, God bless. Thank you.
God bless you, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, if it isn't the traveling Wilbury, Mike Miniger. Mike Miniger's Auto Body joins us on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller in the morning. I didn't know you still lived around here.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? 5 weeks in a row. I'm pretty happy about that.
Those of you that follow Mike on social media, he's on the beach here. He's in the water there. He's on a boat there. Not that we're jealous or petty or envious, just keeping score.
Well, I'm old. I get to do this kind of stuff. I got to tell you, Kevin, you got some really smart people on this show. It's a little intimidating if you don't. I mean, I watch current events every day. I read all day long if I'm not on the beach, and I don't know how. I don't know how people keep their sanity right now in this country. I mean, this crap about John Brennan just blows my mind. Blows my mind how this guy has security clearance. Nobody in the history has had this kind of thing, and all of a sudden we're disrupting the world by pulling that jerk security. So that was one thing on my mind, but honestly, I'm impressed with the quality of people that you've been able to acquire through the years that I've been listening to you. Your show is full of people that are paying attention, have an agenda, and it's a great agenda, and I guess Dimitri for president, I didn't listen to him, but I can tell this guy was a stud, right?
He was, and never worry, Mike, about being intimidated about the level of intelligence on this program. Just think of the hosts. So the callers, they're brilliant, they're smart, they're well informed, but you're doing well. You're surpassing the host on the intelligence meter, so no worries.
Well, that was. I didn't even know that had to be mentioned. I thought it was so evident. I hate to say it that way, but I didn't even think it came up on the Rito meter.
Well,
I'm impressed, but
I know you've been away for a while, so we were just trying to get you back into the groove, yes.
Well, I blow back during the week. I still have a job, although it doesn't seem like it.
Right, in Garden City.
Yeah, we call it the GC.
Right.
Cool people.
Drive over country, yes.
The 83714, dude, we got it going on.
You do.
Hey, by the way, we're missing you down in the old GC. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've been promising to drive by and then you go on vacation for a month or whatever it was that you were gone. And do we know what you went and did? Did you disclose that, or is that top secret?
Actually, the company mandated some sensitivity training, some court mandated things to make sure that I'm PC and ready to go for the upcoming campaign.
Oh, you're very PC, right? About like I am, about the same. Big clod.
Right. That's where I was in therapy for a week. So indoctrination.
That's a nice lie. Well, all you need to do was go to Boise State if you wanted that. I shouldn't say that about Boise State. I don't really believe that. But man, I'll tell you, I want Alan West. You got to watch Mark Levin, Alan West interview on Life Levin. Yeah. And for Life, Liberty, and Levin, watch the Alan West.
I will. Because I have such a need to hear from you. I'm running late, so I have to go, sir.
Okay. Okay, no, thank you for the time, and we'll chat later.
Thank you. Our great friend Mike Miniger. Mike Miniger's Auto Body. Check him out. Chinden in Garden City. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.